Wave your hand in the air if you've got your right thumb slightly over your left. It is scientifically proven that these people are well groomed, they are well mannered, and they are intellectual. Don't give them a round of applause because you're moving hands. There is a second group of people in the room. There's a second group of people in the room. You've got your left thumb slightly over your right. Are there such people in the room? It is said that these people are not necessarily romantic. No, they're not romantic. So apart from the first group, which were the thinkers and the analytical individuals and the well-groomed individuals, so it says that the second group are hardworking people. You can rely on them to show up. And the last group, which is in the room, is the most fascinating and most amazing group. You've got both your fans almost equilibrium or level, right? Are there such people in the room? I think in all fairness, because it's the last group, raise your hand because this is the most important group. So these people think that they are hard workers. Give yourself a round of applause. Give yourself a round of applause.
Climb through a clear product list. Number 3, you need to show that you've engaged a creative director within the organization who then adds their feed within the sheet. Number 4, what is that one thing that was added to the project that costs 0% that is going to get the individual talking? So you said something amazing. You said, this message I need to see on billboards, when I get off the airport, on branded cups, on branded pull-up banners, on branded gazebos, and all this branding. By bringing the branding space, I've learned one critical thing, which is what it all comes down to. At the end of the day, it all comes back down to word of mouth. It doesn't matter what the writing on the wall says, but if the individual's experience is a derogatory experience, or it's a negative experience, or it's an adverse experience, it doesn't matter what you are putting out, you are going to be branded by the person's experience. That is why when we are selling UIF, we are not selling the products that we are giving to the individuals. We are not selling that when you come here, you're gonna be compensated in such and such a manner when you experience these things. But it's the convenience and the relief. And within the process, what sort of caring mannerism is utilized to deliver on that? Now, I want to go back and make an example because I'm touching on this. So to prove a point to a couple of clients, what we did was this. So we created a card. And this card back then, about 7 years ago, looked like a bank card, but we kind of made it into a business card. There's a lot of them everywhere now. The creative team. But the beautiful thing about this, so it had numbers. So everyone in this room has got a bank card. So bank cards have got numbers in front, right? So what we then did for that organization, we then mapped it out into 4 different groupings. And the first set of numbers were the minutes they've been in business. The second set of numbers were the hours they've been in business. The third set of numbers were the weeks. And the last set was the month. Because the first conversational piece is, because you need to understand that when you meet someone for the first time, you literally have less than a second to be able to impress that person so that they schedule a meeting with you the next day. That's how much time you have. So you need to make an impression. So whenever you're with someone and they meet you for the first time and you introduce yourself and they ask you how or why, you know that that sale is in the bag. But that's a separate conversation. So this business card, which was branded, which had the message that the lady was talking about, the UIF message, spoke more than what met the eye. It got people going on. It got people talking. So which means that when we say that we are customer-centric, our care goes way beyond understanding what people want. It goes way beyond clearly assessing from a functional perspective what the people need. But from a caring perspective and us being able to understand and for us to be able to deliver, it means that when people see our brand, when people experience our brand, they experience a brand that speaks what it, or rather they experience a brand that walks its talk. And a brand that walks its talk, it's a brand that understands that the people that make the brand are the people who are sitting in this room. So then you've got nonchalant people that are waking up every day in the morning that they say, UIF, but you don't understand that you showing up and you delivering is the difference in someone else's life. As a matter of fact, if you could drag the narrative a whole lot further, you could say that you are the difference between this person being able to make, you are the difference, or rather you are the gap in between that is standing between this person's breakthrough and them not receiving their breakthrough at the end of the day. So the people that are here are not just ambassadors because I've been an ambassador for brands and you just show up and you smile, no real work gets done, but these people who are here actually change agents. Because it takes an individual who's overstepping the boundaries of them being told what to do, who's taking the time in to understand what has happened in your life for you to be here today. Is that scripted? Is that part of their job description that they need to understand? Why? Because the name became useless. Then you are then branded by the attributes. In your office right now, in your hometown right now, in your community, in your church, in these places in your society, are you branded as two different individuals? Because we have that, right? We've got individuals that show and have a smug grin, but whenever they show out to other places, they're different and they start smiling and shaking people's hands. But you need to understand that in order for you to be effective in order for you to be effective in other life and for you to be effective in work, you need to understand one clear thing. You cannot brand yourself or develop yourself in adopting the vision, the missions, the value, even the culture, because the culture is the invisible visible. It's the invisible tangible. Have you ever walked into a room and automatically felt like I'm out of place? Have you ever walked into a room and no one said anything, but you felt like, I don't think I need to do this presentation right now. I don't think I'm working for the right company. Those are the nuances which are exuded by being able to adopt the first three things. What sort of culture are people picking up when they're engaging with you? Because culture is everything. I was waking up every day in the morning saying to people, but you guys are crazy. I'm paying you a salary every day of the month. Why aren't you guys showing up? You're getting paid. Here are the key deliverables. Why aren't you delivering based on the key deliverables? Then we went through shuffles, reshuffles, then we hired people, we fired people, but at the baseline, you found that we came up with the exact same thing, which was the same line of firing and hiring and firing and hiring. And it was a hierarchy that was not aimed at developing and empowering people. But the moment we started to understand that the people are our capital, meaning the revenue are the people who are in here. Our stakeholders, as many of them as are there, which is the minister, the government agencies, and whoever else, our suppliers, our clients, poverty. But there are three main things that we need to focus on, right? Which is care, which is accessibility. The last one is? Excuse me? So that at the baseline, we do what? We eradicate poverty. Is this poverty external or internal that we are eradicating? It's external. So we don't have any poverty internal. To an individual, do you know what potential is? It's that dream that knocks on your door every day asking for permission to live. To an individual, it's that dream that is knocking on your door every day asking for permission to live. The question is, and here's one of the things I contributed about in the Leader's Digest, to say that leadership, or rather let me ask this. How many people in this room think or believe or know that they're leaders?
What about the rest?
No. Let me tell you something. Just so that I don't lose anyone's attention. That's all fair and good if it's an honest answer. But one thing I'll tell you is that this conversation that we're having right now is a serious conversation, I believe, for me. I've had this conversation with the current president, the previous president with Richard Branson. I've had this conversation with Robert Kiyosaki where they sat under my aura and I spoke to them. You would even go to the extent that because you are change agents, the work that you are doing is thankless. And you will get to a point where you feel like even the salary that you're getting is not enough because you keep doing stuff. And you're doing stuff for customers or people sometimes that seem ungrateful. And you're doing stuff and you're showing up, but you're in a department with 20 or 30 people and those people don't even appreciate your efforts, but you're still showing up. But here's the thing, you shouldn't be frustrated because you were never doing it for them in the first place. You were doing it because you as an individual has decided that you are the leader. So when you are walking in the vision and when you are walking in the mission, you are walking in you. When you are exuding the values, you are walking them in you. It's not a Groupon scheme, it's an individual who's deciding to form part of the organization. There's a law, there's a term in the justice system. It says, Justice is not just pronounced. Justice is not just declared. Justice is not just said. But justice must be seen to be done. In part of building a positive organizational culture, the new culture must be seen to be done. The new mindset must be seen to be done. The new vision and the new value set needs to clearly intertwine with what you have put in place, and it must be seen to be done. But if you miss everything I've said to you today, hold on to this. Leadership is about service. True leadership is about serving. Service is the rent you pay for being here on earth. Service is what sets you apart. In a culture rich, in a place which is culture rich as South Africa, and we embrace mannerism, or we embrace the cultures of Ubuntu, and we are rich with it, it means that service, in a sense, is our first take. But being caught up in the innate ability to get, or being caught up in the rat race to get, we lose service. Because quality diminishes. So as a growing organization, we shouldn't entangle ourselves as well in processes that strangulate, that change agents from developing and from them growing and from them to be, and from them being able to deliver. But serving is serving is the over and above that care is.
My job is to tell you the stuff that you've been reading about on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, and pray for your uncles, your aunts, your sisters, with a hope that it's going to spark that fire back in you again so that you can align you. So that when you align you start to live a more purpose-driven life. When you start to live a more purpose-driven life, you deliver on whatever the deliverables are for the organization. And when you deliver on these deliverables, they will set you apart from everybody else. Why? Because you are deciding of you that you are a servant and you are going to meet your quotas and you are going to meet whatever it is that you are supposed to meet. Why? Because you're not doing it for the next person. Because it's clearly because you understand that you are branded because of who you are and what you do. But at the base of it all, I want to say to people, at the base of it all boils down to people waking up every day in the morning, every second, every hour, every minute, every whatever, every, and getting things done. Because talk is cheap. But you being able to purpose to say that even if you won't do it for these, but when you do it for you, to enhance you, you will be doing it for these because the leader you, the great you, the powerful you, because you need to understand that no one was born to stand on the sidelines and watch other people walk up and down the red carpets of life. But everyone was born to participate in the game of life. And participating in the game of life, you denounce being average because how long have you been playing it short? Because you're not walking in your purpose, you're not walking in your leadership. How long have you been playing it average? But it all boils down to you saying today that you are making a decision with you, that from today moving henceforth, you are going to go back home, you're going to go back to the office, you're going to go back to your kids, your husband, your girlfriend, your wife, your boyfriend, or whatever, and you're going to go back and you're going to make sure that you do one critical thing. You're going to get things done. So I need everyone in the room to say this after me with some fire and some pizzazz. Get things done! I know there's some people that look rather extra today, they look very beautiful. I'd like you to shake that beauty off just for a little bit. But say this for you, say this after me. Get things done! Get things done! Nah, man, I mean, if I walked into this room with a briefcase and $1 million and I threw it in the air, I don't know, some of the people, the DGs and everyone, and the leaders, the managers will be climbing on people, the ladies will be on top of the other, you'll be jumping everywhere, right? But this is just on that level because now you are working on you. You are working on delivering on the key deliverables. Say this after me. Get things done! Get things done! Nah, man, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. You gotta say this with more fire. You gotta say this with more baba. If we're at a Kaiser Chiefs and Pirates match and your team was the one scoring the ball, you'd be jumping over the furniture, you'd be kicking stuff. Say this after me. Get things done! Get things done! Nah, man, I can't hear you guys. I don't even think your neighbor can hear you. I'm definitely sure this and gentlemen over here can hear you. I'm definitely sure the leaders in front can hear you. I'm definitely sure the handsome and beautiful ladies and gentlemen they can hear you. Say this after me. Get things done!
Get things done!
Oh, live loud and blue. You are that guy. So say this after me because we can't hear you, right? Say get things done. Get things done! So one last time with a lot of fire. So this is what I want us to do, right? I need you to shake yourself up. Imagine you were walking into this. Imagine you were walking into a new appointment and they were signing you in as that leader that you want to be. Imagine that confidence. Imagine that Baba, that pizzazz. So say this after me one last time. Get this